what I want to show today is some footwork. I love coaching big guys, and it's not just because I'm a big fat guy either. I just find that if you can get any big guy to work and put in the time, then they're going to have a lot of success, especially if they're semi-athletic. They can have success if they're willing to put in the time, just because there's not as much depth at those weights. So if you can get a big guy to put his, start moving his feet with his hands at the same time, then he's going to have a lot of success. I learned a few steps to really help me. I had to pound them in my head thousands of times. When I was at Clarion University, the assistant coach there, he was a 3-time All-American from Edinburgh, Jason Robson. He taught me these steps, and it's something that when I see a kid that has some talent, I always pull them aside and make sure they know these steps and drill them into their head over and over and over again. One step is for a high crotch, one step's for a single leg, are the two basic steps, and then there's a lot more, but we'll just go over the first 2 steps right now. So the first step is, it's called a sidestep, and it's for a high crotch. And I usually like to use a straight line. If you just use the lines in the center of the circle, that works really well to get you get your feet in the right position, because it's all about the spacing and where you're shooting. The main point is, if I try and shoot a high crotch straight on, I'm going to have to take on that person's whole body. Whereas if I cut that person in half, if I get an angle, then I'm only having to wrestle against half of that person's body. So the side step, it's easiest if you get on a straight line, so you can see where your feet need to be. We want to start from a square stance. The reason why I start from a square stance, I don't usually wrestle in a square stance. I'm usually staggered when I'm wrestling. But a square stance, you can hit high crotch from either side. You can hit a single leg from either side. And so it doesn't matter which leg they're leading. They won't know what's coming against them. Whereas if I'm leading my right leg, then they know if they're leading the opposite leg, then I'm going to shoot a high crotch. If they're leading the same side leg, I'm going to shoot a single leg. So square stance is a good start, and these steps just build off of that stance and let you have more offense to go from. But the side step is we're in a good low square stance, shoulders over our knees, head up. We're going to take a 6-inch step with our outside foot. Just 6 inches, just from line to line. 6-inch step from line to line. And then right down that line, right there. We're not hitting a knee yet. We're not doing anything else other than 6-inch step straight down that line. Shoulder over our knee, big step, okay, right there. And I'll have my wrestlers do this, 100 times both sides. 100 times both sides. They'll get that going 100 times both sides. And so they can be ambidextrous in their shots. They can go both ways. Then I'll bring out someone for them to wrestle against. Mark, will you come out here? And they'll start doing it on a partner. So you're square with your partner. You're going to take a 6-inch step. And you got to really drive through your shoulder. You have to punch through. Notice my step isn't just toe to toe. I'm going to try and take my step all the way through him. Okay? I'm going to try and take my step all the way through. Okay? Right there. Side step. Okay. Side step. And they're going to go with a partner 100 times both sides. 6 inches to the side. And that's what we're doing to this person. You can see right here. I'm going to, instead of trying to hit a high crotch straight on and take on his whole body, I'm going to cut his body in half. And now I'm only having to fight against half of his body. Okay? So 6 inches, right through the guy, right through the guy. And that's what we use, the step we're going to use for a high crotch. And when they sprawl, and they most likely will, that's when we're going to hit our drive to our knee. We don't, a lot of guys when they're hitting their high crotch, they're just going to drop to their knee right here. Okay? That's really far away. After a guy reacts, if Mark reacts, we're going to drop to a knee That's too far away. So I want more of an angle. Okay? So I can step through. If when I hit the shot, he reacts right here, then I can grab my knee and get back in position. I can use the distance from my toe to my knee as that little extra length that I need to get my hips back underneath and get back to that leg. Okay? So I'll be wrestling here, 6 inches. Drive, step, big step, then drive to my knee. So that's the side step right there. Drill it, drill it, drill it. Make it so your feet memorize that motion, and then you'll start hitting it and you won't even know you're hitting it. But it goes with every shot, every high crotch. When you're passing, when you're hitting a post off of a Russian, anytime you're hitting a high crotch, that step will give you the angle that you need to finish that shot rather than just dropping.